For you, Robert Lewandowski's Poland will be lining up against Mexico for the second game of Group C of the day. We'll be picking apart that one in just a few moments' time because it certainly is one to keep an eye on, especially after what happened earlier in the day in the same group. We're going to start there with one of the most epic comebacks and epic results ever in a World Cup. This one between Saudi Arabia and Lionel Messi's Argentina. Here's what happened.
They survive again.
So welcome back to Visa Match Centre Live, joined in the studio with Wayne Rooney as well as Robert Pires. It has been an extraordinary day so far, one of the most epic comebacks, one of the most epic results, as we were saying, as Saudi Arabia surprised the world by beating Argentina. 36-game unbeaten run. They were one shy of equaling Italy's all-time record. Nobody expected this to happen. Perhaps maybe you did, Wayne, I don't know, but give me your reaction to this result.
No, I don't think anyone...
There's no question they'll be very upset with the result, especially because there's so much pressure on him as an individual to take this Argentina to glory once again for the first time since 1986.
They need to do the reaction against Mexico.
And talking about reactions, obviously, it wasn't just what we saw on the pitch from the players. There was lots of different kinds of contrasting reactions as well from the fans who were at the stadium, even fans here.
Joy that's going to give so many people, especially in their country, it's a huge result around the world.
Oh, it's brilliant to see, as you rightly say, for the neutral. It's such an incredible result. We'll see if we'll see something very similar later on between Mexico and Poland. Both sides, of course, are very much gearing up for their game at a very unique stadium, the 974 Stadium, that's built out of shipping containers. Here's a little bit of a closer look at what the stadium is all about.
A modern-day sporting wonder.
Well, this World Cup in Qatar certainly is bringing us a lot of firsts, and this stadium in particular is definitely one of those very things. It's very unique.
Can he break his tournament duck against our tree and get the Eagles off to a flying start?
Well, that was quite a nice way to tee up what's going to be a very intriguing encounter between Mexico and Poland. We will take a closer look at that game in just a moment, but we do have our eyes and ears on the ground in Vishali, who's at the stadium that we were talking about earlier, the 974 Stadium, that unique grounds in this particular World Cup. We can cross over to her then, because it's been a really interesting day all around. Obviously, everyone here in India is focusing on what happened with Argentina, but we have to get the reaction on the ground over there. So, Vishali, do tell us a little bit about the mood around town as well as in the stadium ahead of this one between Mexico and Poland. Shockwaves now not just in Doha but across the world after what we witnessed there. Well, let's turn our attentions then onto what is coming up here just around the corner. We can start with a quick...
You like to touch the ball.
Of course.
This is important.
He'll be frustrated for sure.
Yeah, look.
Do you think he'll be giving his teammates a little bit of, how can I say this nicely, a little bit of, you know, inspiration? Get me the ball, get it to me.
The goalkeeper made a good save, so wasn't the most entertaining of games, but they both picked up points up each.
Well, listen, I appreciate the honesty. Let's go ahead and show you the moment that Robert Lewandowski did. We do want to turn our attentions to some pretty big news. I'm very sorry, Wayne. The news seems to be following you wherever you are going. Yeah. But it's actually broken in the last hour or so, and it has to do with Manchester United and Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United have released a statement, which we can read out to you.
Being a fantastic servant for Manchester United, and I wish him all the best, whichever club he goes to next.
Of course, there's two sides to every story, but from the perspective of Manchester United, the fact that they are going through a bit of a rebuild, a bit of a transitional period, call it whatever you like, and given...
there'll be teams looking to sign him, and certainly if he has a good tournament, there'll be a lot of teams looking to try and take him in.
Talking about the tournament, Portugal are in action on Thursday for the first game. Let's get you to be going up against Ghana. Do you think that in some ways this will, at least from him, from his point of view, he'll feel that he has decided to do this right before the World Cup instead of doing it after the World Cup? But in any case, we'll see how it does affect him as well as the rest of his Portuguese teammates throughout the course of this competition. And speaking of Lionel Messi, well, it was heartbreak earlier for Argentina. Arabian dressing room. So obviously there is still a lot more to look forward to. But talking about Argentina very briefly for a moment, Lionel Messi actually spoke after the game today, and he said that the group was dead, that they're really taking this very hard, that it was a very difficult blow for them. And you kind of mentioned how they might react to this going forward. They're going to have difficult games against Poland and Mexico. So what kind of reaction do you think we might see from Argentina?
I think, as I said earlier,
They play a lot of time against this team. So, should be very interesting, the game. Yeah.
It should be very interesting indeed. But listen, speaking about interesting, we want to play a little game of our own. We all know what fabulous footballers you were during your playing careers. We also know what talented experts you are as well. Okay, wait,
I'll go first.
So what one food item, oh, I think I already know the answer to this one, but let's see. What one food item were you not allowed to have during your playing days, but post-retirement? You were not allowed to, maybe because your managers, your coaches...
Yeah, you'd probably say ketchup or butter.
The only reason I mentioned ketchup is because I love the story about Capello, but... Okay.
And I used to play in UK, can you imagine?
That is true, of course, all the time that you spent with us, well, makes sense. All right, so what about the one thing, you go first this time, in your refrigerator that you have to have at all times?
All time. Box to box, 12. I say, okay. It was very, very difficult, yeah. So
well, you must have been in spectacular shape then with all that running, my word. Okay, well, let's ask maybe a more fun question. A football legend that you would have loved to play with from the past? If you all play together, it would also be a pretty spectacular team.
Yes, of course, me on the left.
Talking about Henry and talking about the French national team, we're going to talk about their opening game against Australia as they begin their title defence. Coming up next.
I'm confident for tonight, yes.
Allez les Bleus, right? Well, you're very confident.
Exactly, allez les Bleus.
I'm sure many other French support, because for all of the reasons that Robert... Allez les Bleus, right? Well, you're very confident.
Exactly, allez les Bleus.
I'm sure many other French supporters are feeling very confident as well, because for all of the reasons that Robert was just talking about there and more, they certainly are one of the title favourites for this edition of the World Cup.
He's the main man, he's the star man for France, and if he plays well and scores goals, I think France will be a difficult team to beat in this tournament.
Well, he's already on pretty a hot streak at present, Mbappe, considering that he's been involved in 24 goals already in all competitions for PSG. So there's no question that he's got all kinds of talents. But here's a quick look at his #1 superpower.
Is football.
Very happy.
All right.
Because he played for France.
Yes, I'm sure you're counting your blessings. You're very happy indeed that he is on the pitch for France tonight. Well, we should talk about this so-called World Cup curse, something that's happened in the past. It seems to have become a recent trend, at least with European nations. Sorry about France in 2002, getting eliminated in the group stage. You weren't part of the team, though. Maybe that's why that happened.
Good.
Well, there you go.
So
they needed you. They needed you there, Robert.
So that's why.
Exactly. But then you have Italy, Spain, Germany. 4 years after they become crowned champions, they get eliminated in the group stage. It's happened 3 World Cups in a row now. So the trend would tell you that, sorry, look away now.
It must be a huge honour.
I think only Brazil, no? Win
Brazil and Italy.
2 times in a row, no?
Yeah, Italy in the 30s.
Yeah.
So it's only happened twice.
So that's why it's very difficult. Yeah, because it's like what's happened with Argentina.
Yeah. All right.
Be careful.
Be careful indeed. Well, listen, Deschamps is obviously going to try and mastermind a way to put an end to this jinx. So here's what he has to say about how he plans on trying to guide France back to glory once again.
Believe me, yeah, very lucky. Yeah.
He's Mr. Good Vibes, then I guess we could say.
Very good vibes. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So looking at this French side, it's obviously incredible in terms of the talent that is there, but it's also incredible the amount of talent that isn't there. That he is going to miss out, but obviously it's a great opportunity for Giroud to continue his legacy with France. Well, let's shed some light then on their opponents, Australia, and see what the numbers tell us about this particular matchup. One who didn't score in the last World Cup. You actually pointed out to me that This is his 50th goal with France, but it's only the first time he actually scored
It's true.
in a World Cup. It's quite surprising, isn't it, considering he's now only 1 goal away from actually equaling the legendary Thierry Henry.
Yeah, it's incredible. And
Earlier today with Saudi Arabia upsetting Argentina, but they reacted incredibly well after going down just after 10 minutes. Much to your delight, by the way, Ruben.
Yes, of course. I'm very happy to Olivier Giroud because he equaled the Thierry Henry record.
And it's always interesting because whenever you concede early, which was the case with Argentina, and Lionel Messi talked about how difficult it actually was for them and to go ahead so